What do you think I think that is different from what you think that you're trying to understand with this line of questioning? Like, what is a position I have on the subject of comedy, or I don't know,
Okay,
on philosophy more broadly?
do you know who, okay, I love everybody I'm talking about. Do you know who J-Reg is?
Of course. Do I know?
Okay, I love J-Reg. I like him personally. Okay. And I like some of the stuff he does. Okay. One of the things that I don't think is possible is like when you talk about like irony, in my mind, irony has to have a point to it. Otherwise, it's just kind of like absurdist nonsense. And one of the issues that I have sometimes
Sure.
people ask me about like J-Reg stuff is that like sometimes it feels like I don't even want to say irony for the sake of irony. It just feels like a little bit kind of like XD random because there's not as much of a point. And I would contrast this to somebody like, do you watch like, I think we've talked about like Sam Hyde before, right?
Have we talked about Santa before?
I don't remember. Do you ever watch any of his stuff?
I don't recall.
Oh, fuck. Okay. In my opinion, people get triggered when I say this, but I think Sam Hyde is probably the best like wielder of irony or satire of anybody that I've ever seen, because he makes a ton of ironic jokes, but like it's very obvious when he's making his ironic jokes who the target is or like what he's like joking about. Like, oh,
Sure.
I get it. It's
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
because of this thing. Yeah. And I guess when I watched, so sometimes I think, I'm trying to remember, it was a while ago when I watched this conversation. We should have just talked immediately. See, but you schedule these days and days out so that I don't remember, and now you've defamed me. No, I'm just kidding.
You should improve your memory.
I think this might have had to do with like the Zog stuff or something like this. I guess when I was listening to supposedly my fan, now allegedly my fan, okay. When I see him fighting with you, the feeling that I got a little bit was you were defending kind of like this pointless, aimless irony a little bit. But I remembered, and then I kind of wondered, like, well, maybe.
I think I know what you're referring to. My point was,
Yeah. Or here, right, real quick. I was gonna say, because maybe your understanding of irony and mine are different, and I just disagree with your understanding of it. But then I remembered how I know of you originally, and it's because you made the League of Legends videos, and those
League of Politics,
videos were, those weren't like what goofy random jokes can I make about Destiny, right? It was here's
Targeted.
but they all had like a point. They referred
Correct.
to, that's why they were so funny. Yeah.
yeah, humor in
you
service of a
definitely-
higher order.
Kind of.
goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go talk. Yeah, I'm just curious. Also,
Well,
this truly is not. I'm not trying to catch you debate. I was just curious.
I
if your
know.
thoughts
I
on it.
believe.
Yeah,
I
okay.
believe you. I believe you.
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
I do come from the J. Regian school of comedic philosophy, which I think is derivative of a Burnhamite school of philosophy. But the J. Reg, and actually, J. Reg has a video on irony, post-irony, and meta-irony, which I believe iDubbbz referenced in his Sam Hyde Circle of Irony video. But essentially, there's sincerity, which is me telling you what I really believe. Hey, I genuinely think that the far right and far left are, both bad, but they have some good ideas that need to be addressed. Okay, that's what I sincerely believe. Then there's irony of like, oh no, I definitely love the far right or the far left. Like, I love the far left. No, yeah, totally. That's irony. Then there's post-irony, which is like, no, which is like me just telling you 2 seconds ago that I don't remember if we talked about Sam Hyde or not. That's post-irony, because I do remember that we did talk about that, and I'll never forget that. But then there's meta-irony, which is when the person, according to JREG, this is the person communicating, isn't even sure of what their own belief is on the topic. And what I was telling your fan, Nick, thank God for Nick, who arranged this whole conversation. Look at what one person can do in the world just by criticizing their second most hated streamer. Is meta irony is I make a joke or something. I'm not because the meaning of the joke is uncertain because it reflects a genuine level of uncertainty for me. The example I gave with him is like the example of Irish nationalism. Like, if you pose the question of like, do I support the idea of Ireland for the Irish or Japan for the Japanese or Israel as a Jewish state, all that different stuff. Part of me is like, no, fuck ethnocentrism. That's ridiculous. I'm an American. Everyone should be like me. We're God's true chosen people. But then the other part of me is like, well, I do believe my American sensibilities are best, but I also don't necessarily think it would be better if there were no Irish or that Ireland was not mostly Irish in the same way that if Japan was not mostly Japanese. And even in principle, if Israel was not mostly a Jewish state, I can, even though I'm very critical of Israel and their actions and whatnot, in theory, I don't know. I suppose I could be convinced in the validity of an ethno-state, maybe. Although, as of right now, my gut instinct is like, no, fuck that. But I don't know. So, like, if I make a joke of, like, I love, I don't know what the IRA, are they coming back? The Irish National Republican Army, whatever. Mm-hmm. So if I make a joke and it's like, wait, is he supportive of Irish nationalism? I can't really tell. It's like, that's because it's genuinely reflective of a real split in me.
I would say
in that case, I think it's perfectly acceptable to do.
Sure. I would say in that case, semantically, I don't think that's meta irony. I think in a way it's irony. I think that there's a difference between being unclear about what you are showcasing versus showcasing a lack of clarity. So, for instance, when people look at the Congress in the United States right now, and they say Congress is dysfunctional because they're not passing any legislation, I look at Congress and I go, are they dysfunctional because they're not passing any legislation? Or is Congress actually accurately resembling the American people right now, who are historically insanely divided? Now, if it was the case that all the people were kind of like, we really need to do a couple things, and Congress just wasn't doing it, like, oh, that is pretty dysfunctional. That's not good. Congress is dysfunctional. They're not passing any legislation. But if somebody looks at Congress now, they go, Congress is really dysfunctional. They're not passing any legislation. I go, no, they might be dysfunctional, kind of, but that dysfunction is actually a representation of the dysfunction of the American people. All that to say that if you were to make a joke about, I went to sign up for a sporting event and, I wasn't even sure what gender category to sign up for or whatever, because all these new terms or whatever, right? You say some joke like this or whatever, I don't know, right?
Yeah, I like the joke of ever since I got my COVID shot, I started slicing my golf shots. It's like,
what does that mean? I don't even know what it means to slice a golf shot.
It means hooking hook is left. It means hitting your golf ball way further right than you wanted. So the joke is like,
bad, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's bad. You don't want to do that. Okay. So ever since I got my COVID shot, I've been slicing my golf shots. And the joke is like, well, wait, are you actually against a COVID shot? Because you have been slicing your golf shots. And I'm like, are you? Is this like a, well, how many cookies in the oven type joke? Where you say something that's innocuous but means something else.
Sure, but I would say that like that. So we would have to look at the context of like a whole thing. But I would say generally that type of joke. The joke is that I think the vaccines are probably not safe. Right?
Yeah, or it's like, or I'm willing to make a joke like that because I'm not sure. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Although, well, it communicates more on one side, I think, than the other side, right?
True, but again, it all comes back to intention, right?
No, but go ahead.
Okay.
I disagree.
Well, that's fair. It doesn't all come back to intention. All is a strong word.
Huh.
I don't know. I guess, and again, I'm trying to understand if there's a specific. I welcome disagreement. If you think I am approaching things suboptimally, it'd be helpful to know in particular where we disagree, and then I can more latch on that.